lost my oldest son. As a parent, it's not anything that I would wish on my worst enemy. The hurt of the loss of a child is not something that anyone should have to experience. My name is Brandon Guffey. I'm 43 years of age. Born and raised in Rock Hill, South Carolina, is where I currently live. So July 27th of 2022, I lost my oldest son, Gavin Guffey. He was 17 years of age, to suicide. And in the months following, I found out that he was being extorted online, a crime known as extortion, where someone pretends to be someone else and engages in a chat or a dating site and starts to send images. And as soon as the person sends images, they then start to extort them for money. Gavin was on the video game right around midnight, and he was playing a game with some friends. He got off the video game, got on the phone, started, but by 1:40 a.m., he had taken his life. I could hear him in his game, or in his room playing games. I heard him walk down the hall, and after not hearing anything, something just told me to get up and go check on him. And I just said, "Good night, buddy, I love you." And he said the same and walked into the bathroom. And that's whenever I heard, it sounded like a bowling ball on shelves just falling down. I ran to the door, kicked in the door after he didn't answer, and found him laying in between the bathtub and toilet. And I thought that he had hit his head, picked him up, trying to stop the bleeding. And then I smelled the gunpowder and seen the pistol laying off to the side of the toilet. Probably the toughest thing. I always, as a father, my biggest fear was always losing a child to begin with. And I tell people all the time, it's one thing to lose a child, but it's another thing to know that your child chose to take their life. You go through feelings of you feel like a failure. Like, why didn't you come to me? And did I do things wrong? We had very open conversations. I knew that he was sexually active. I knew that he had experimented with drugs. These were things that, parents and children don't typically have those conversations, but I had that open relationship with him. So for the people that make the assumption that, that connection wasn't there, that connection was there. And yet there wasn't a conversation that could have been had there. You can't just tell your kids about all the evil that exists out there and expect them to understand. I think kids are told about scammers, but it's another thing whenever you're a teenager and your hormones are raging to get caught up in that situation. There's no resources out there to tell you how to deal with the loss of a child at that time. So what I started doing was I started immediately. In under 24 hours, I went on Facebook Live and started recording videos where I'm just pouring my heart out online. I think by day 2 or 3, I got to this rage emotion to where I just wanted to scream. I wanted to have vengeance. Everything was surreal. But members of the community, because it was live, started pulling up and joining in because they shared that rage. We were continuing to be extorted by the perpetrator. That person to continue to extort my 14-year-old cousin, which lives an hour away, continue to extort my 16-year-old son, who just lost his brother. And then on my son's, what would have been his 17th birthday, that person sends me a message that says, "Did I tell you your son begged for his life?" with a laughing face emoji. I think what we need, worldwide, is what we need is grace. We need to understand we've turned into this culture where we're attacking people at their worst moment instead of trying to lift them up and understand that we all make mistakes. I mean, it's sad. And the social media aspect of it, the older demographics don't understand how important social media or the online life is to a younger individual, because your entire life is online. I've introduced quite a few laws this year, but whenever it comes to protecting children, we absolutely need it. I think we need a minimum age on social media, and instead of having an adult who can't keep up with the digital age know how to add those security features. And I'm scared that we're going to end up that way with child, which is going to increase child trafficking, human sex trafficking, and multiple other factors, because you're starting grooming. We've seen sextortion victims as young as 8 years of age on a game called Roblox. To know that your child chose to take their life, whenever you know in your heart that you could have solved the issue and you could have handled the situation and everything could have gotten better. It's become my rallying cry with saying tomorrow needs you. And I drive around and I talk to teens, high school and college kids, about mental health. Drive an old hippie bus, and I call it the struggle bus, and they put stickers on the bottom of it, so the whole thing's sticker bomb, because Gavin liked the sticker bomb, and it allows me to open up those conversations on mental health. But it's hard. I've lost the battle with Gavin, but I can use that pain and turn it into purpose and try and save other people from feeling that way.